It's now 1 year ago that I first started helping someone else with biting their nails, rather, getting rid of nail biting. To that point, I was biting my nails since 10 years, and it took me roughly 2 years between deciding to get started and actually having quit it. After I saw what worked for me, I offered that experience to some of my closer friends and surroundings and looked into what works on them. And here's what happened so far. The first friend I ever told this to was very open to the idea, actually excited because he was struggling with it as well. And it took him about 4 months to get rid of it. 4 months of me chatting him up weekly and giving him a new step that I deemed appropriate in his current situation. I then asked other people who I knew were struggling with it and directly approached them. Hey, I see you're having this issue. I went through it as well. Here's what I did. Would you like me to give you the advice and try to lead you through the whole process? The second and third person I tried approaching both eventually gave up and were very okay with it still remaining in their life. They were too busy with other areas of their life, other problems that are more major than the nail biting. And even though it's uncomfortable for them to show it, that's one of the things I asked them. What do you think is most uncomfortable about nail biting? They lay their focus on other issues, which is totally fine. And it goes to show that having a focus on getting rid of nail biting is the only way to do so. The fourth person was all in from the beginning. They decided to take a leap and actually contact me over an acquaintance. And they have progressed very fast. They have gotten rid of nail biting in about 3 months with the assistance of some tools and had a setback just last month, basically bit it all off again because of holidays, spending time inside and so on, and is now back on track to getting rid of it. And I have no doubt that they'll achieve what they're looking for, that they'll finally manage to grow their nails, maintain them. And the challenge for me now is to make that stay, is to help them get into a state where they are very unlikely to have another setback. And for the fifth person, the situation was very difficult from the beginning. I approached them, asked them about it, and they were like, yeah, okay, let's do it. But it showed that they weren't fully invested. They didn't want to follow the instructions or give the feedback that I needed to see how they were doing. And that went on for a couple of months. Now, in the last 2 months, they realize what's going on. Now they approach me. And this person takes it so seriously to chat me every other day, get ahead by putting more effort into it. So far, one of my mistakes is not putting in the effort that they are putting in. So I didn't mirror the effort, which is what I'm going to do next. And for this person, progress shows a little. They are able to grow their nails for a couple of weeks, then they fall back, then a couple of weeks longer than the first time, fall back. And this is a cycle that keeps going on. And so the goal is to see whether or not they can extend that period of time, one cycle at a step, until they no longer need to chew at all. So the last year showed me a lot of things for myself and for the people I'm trying to help. I myself realized that putting in effort into people who don't actually want it doesn't make sense. If they don't approach me or try to get rid of it and actually try to follow through, there is no point in committing even further. Because it's their will that will eventually get them to quit. And without that, there is no point. You can't force someone to get rid of it. It has to bother them so much that they want to do it themselves. And I am there to assist them. I'm not there to force them to do it. I can assist them by reminding them. I can assist them by leading them through it. But I cannot force them to pull themselves through. That's what I'm still learning about. And the more people I can take on, the better I can learn about it. Which is why I'm planning to do that more in the next couple of months intensively. Hence, I'm also doing this on YouTube just to talk about it, get more deeply into the material, as well as maybe be able to connect to people who want it as well. Because the more experience I have, the more likely people I help are to succeed. And here are the things you can do if you're also concerned with this issue. The best thing to do: talk to someone. Make them hold you accountable so that even if you lag behind, which is going to happen eventually, they can put you back on track. Also, communicating openly about the topic makes it much easier for you to handle it overall. I see talking to people about my issues as a form of commitment. I just be careful not to set the bar too high. I actually want to reach the goal and not fall short of it every time. And the second thing I do if I had to start over is take a look at why nail biting is a problem for me. Does it bother me to show my nails? Does it bother my partner if I touch them? Is it a painful ordeal? Do my fingers get infected? And how I would go about combating it. looking into when and where I do it, what I can do in those situations to stop it and help it, or even start with noticing it first.